Quick disclaimer, if you are currently waiting to get your wisdom teeth removed, or if you think you're going to get your wisdom teeth removed in the near future, I probably would not recommend watching today's video. And that is because today I am going to tell the horrifying tale of how I got my wisdom teeth out. So this was about a year and a half ago, if I remember correctly. I just really needed a vacation. I really needed to like refresh and recharge, and I decided to treat myself and take a week off of work. I was super excited. It got approved by my manager. It was great. I went home, played some video games, and woke up the next morning to an awful surprise from my stupid body. No, I have to admit, this is absolutely my fault. I knew I had to get my wisdom teeth out. A couple of them were impacted, and the ones that weren't impacted were just like really big and painful, and I kept having like on and off pain. Like my mouth would be sore for a few days, and then it would go away. So I just ignored it, but my teeth were definitely growing in more and more the more that I put the surgery off, and I really didn't want to take time off to get my stupid teeth pulled. I was like, that's a waste of time. I'm not gonna do it. I basically was waiting to see how long I could go without getting them out, and I found out it was exactly as long as it took me to take a personal vacation. So anyway, I wake up literally the first morning of my time off, my little staycation. It was way before I wanted to wake up. I want to say like 3 or 4 a.m. and my face was just completely swollen, and I was in so much pain. My jaw was throbbing to the point where I could like feel it in my ears, and I had been having some like tooth pain before then, so I knew it was going to be a painful day, but I was like, this is wrong. Something is wrong with my face. I ran to the bathroom and I saw just how swollen my face was, and I was drooling a lot. I probably should have said at the beginning, this is gonna be kind of gross. It's a video about getting my teeth pulled. What can I do? I'm drooling everywhere, so I start spitting out my drool into the sink, and I'm just bleeding. I'm like spitting out so much blood, and I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. Fun fact, just in case any of you guys need this service, there is like a 911 kind of for like dental emergencies. It's obviously not as extreme as 911. They're not gonna send like a dentist ambulance to your house to like rip out your teeth, but it is basically like a dental emergency hotline. One of the things that they do is like set you up with emergency wisdom tooth removal. So I called them crying. I'm only like halfway through describing what my symptoms were, and they were like, all right, we got to get you in somewhere right away. I think I had an appointment at like 8 or 9 a.m. and I tried to go back to sleep. Woke up in time to get ready and grab an Uber over to my appointment. I do a really quick x-ray. I'm sitting around waiting. I was wondering what was taking so long, and finally the secretary comes back out after talking with the dentist, and she was like, I'm sorry, but he just won't do it. And I'm like, what do you mean he won't do it? I'm like, my face is so swollen. I'm in so much pain. I guess he looked at my x-rays and decided that it was like too high risk of a surgery, even though you probably aren't gonna want to get your wisdom teeth removed after hearing this story. If you are like me and you're waiting until the last second, don't do that. So anyway, they were nice enough to call around and set up another appointment with me at another dentist in my town. I hop in an Uber, I head over to the dentist, and I'm very confused about where I get dropped off. I double check the address, and I'm looking around, and I'm at a strip mall. I'm at like a little shopping center, basically. There's a Qdoba. Finally, I see the office. This is gonna be awesome. So I walk in, and it is very apparent based on the clientele and decor of this place that this is a child's dentist. Definitely not a place that specializes in oral surgeries, which I came to find out was a very correct assumption. And the worst part was looking around at the office and seeing this like modern open air design that they have to the office. So there's no rooms here. Yes, that's right. It's a dental office with no rooms. You basically just have a set of chairs going down the length of the office with these like walls that kind of separate each section. Finally, they call me back to the room that I'm gonna be in, the chair where everyone can see me, where I'm about to go through excruciating pain as an adult in front of a bunch of children. So this doctor walks in and he looks pissed off. That's basically how I can describe it. He was not happy about the whole experience. I'm wondering if maybe it's because he saw my x-rays and he just wasn't looking forward to giving me a pretty invasive procedure that he wasn't prepared for. Apparently the facility wasn't prepared for it either, because they don't even have like the gas or anything. I figured this had to be like relatively common because, you know, they wouldn't be not putting me under if it's not like a thing that people do. Talking to friends later, I found out that it's actually pretty rare that they don't put you under. Clearly, because it was horrifying. So this doctor barely talks to me the whole time. He's extremely rough, which is just not necessary. This is an awful surgery that I'm about to get while fully awake, and this guy just doesn't care. He is kind of small too. He was just like a small dude. So he's literally like climbing on top of me and like kneeling down on my body to get to certain areas of my mouth. It was just so uncomfortable. My whole body was uncomfortable. The whole thing was just awful. So he is giving me like topical anesthetic, and then like the shots, they're not little, they're huge, and he did not try to hide the syringes from me at all. And I'm not really a baby about getting shots, but like, holy shit, those things were giant. I still remember my bottom right tooth. That one was the most impacted. It basically went from my gums here right into my cheek. So you could only see like the side of the tooth, and then the whole top of the crown was inserted into my cheek. I could actually like feel the top of the tooth if I were to like touch my jaw like this. Ugh. Thinking back on it, that was really gross. I don't know why I didn't get it taken out earlier, but live and you learn. So he gets to numbing that tooth. He does that one last, so I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. I got all the other ones numb. Oh my God, no, it was so awful. I was like crying and like involuntarily squirming and slightly screaming, I'll be perfectly honest. I have never had a dramatic reaction like that before during any of the other oral surgeries I've gotten. I was just in so much pain, and I was shocked by how much it hurt just to get the anesthetic injected. I was glad, like, you know, he's numbing it, I'm not gonna feel the rest of it, right? Wouldn't that be the ideal situation? I had nightmares about the experience of actually getting the teeth pulled for months. Like the pressure on my jawbone and hearing the crack of my bones as the tooth was being like forcefully ripped out of my face. And at this point, you know, the whole like kneeling and climbing on me thing got way more extreme because the guy needed like leverage, really like yanking it out, holding onto my jaw in a really uncomfortable way. The jaw pain afterwards, just from like stiffness, was like almost as bad as the rest of the pain I felt after the surgery. But then my friends, we get to my cheek tooth, my cute little cheek tooth. Living in my cheek, you don't belong there, tooth, get out of there. He had told me at the beginning of the procedure to raise my left hand if I was in pain, because that meant that they hadn't numbed me enough and they could stop and numb me more and then continue with the procedure. I didn't raise my hand during the rest of the procedure until he got to that tooth. I very quickly realized that that tooth was basically not numbed at all. I guess because I had been in so much pain while he was trying to numb me that he just didn't use a full syringe of anesthetic. Oh, also, I don't know what kind of anesthetic they use. I have never had pain medicine like that in my life. I don't f with pain medicine. I don't like it, even if I'm given pain medicine after surgeries. Like, I try to take as little of it as possible. It just makes me feel gross and icky and groggy, and I'm not a fan. But this stuff was like hardcore. I'm surprised that they had this. It was like a horse tranquilizer at a child's dentist. But anyway, He hadn't put enough of it in my little cheek tooth. I knew right away, as soon as he tried to put any instrument or anything around there, that I was not numbed enough for this bitch. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not in excruciating pain. I'm gonna let him start a little bit. And by start, I mean that he like just barely got the little clamp on my tooth, and I was like, that's it. I'm tapping out, baby. Obviously, I can't say anything because I have the fist of a full-grown man inside of my mouth. And I'm raising my hand and he just doesn't stop at all. I start like making sounds and raising my hand more and then waving my hand really enthusiastically and then screaming and then screaming at the top of my lungs. He's getting that tooth out whether I like it or not. And there are horrified children running around this office who can not only hear me but see me because I'm in this chair with nothing separating me from everyone else except for this like 3-foot segment of wall. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This is humiliating and excruciatingly painful. So after all that, they pretty unceremoniously like rip my bib off and hit the chair up. Like they just want to get me the fuck out of there. And this doctor, after putting me through all that torture, rips his gloves off like he's about to smack me across the face or something. It was so dramatic. There is no reason why you need pain medicine. I will not prescribe you pain medicine. Kids like you are always coming in here looking for pain medicine. Apparently I'm a drug addict now, which I never fucking knew, so thanks for letting me know that, doc. You clearly know more about me than I do, sir, so thank you for the, enlightenment. I'm sitting there trying not to cry any more than I already have, and in my loopy state, I ask him if I can keep one of my teeth. I guess it was funny to him. I don't know. He didn't laugh, but he just seemed like less pissed at me. He's like, well, it's a biohazard, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not walking out of here without a souvenir. I better get my tooth back. So finally he lets me keep one of my teeth, which kind of sucked. So I picked the best looking one. I actually made a necklace out of it, so I guess that's a cool part of this story. He sends me to the front desk, I get the bill, and they don't give me any prescription for anything. They also don't give me any aftercare instruction. There's no like pamphlet explaining what I have to do. Nothing. At all. So my roommate had offered to pick me up from the dentist, but she assumed that I was getting put under, so she thought it was gonna take like 5 times longer than it actually did, so she was not prepared to pick me up. So I sit down on the curb outside of the dentist office. I am in a state. I am so loopy, I don't even realize how much blood is coming out of my mouth. Sitting on the curb in front of the Qdoba, drooling heavily. Big old puddle of blood on the parking lot. While I'm waiting for my roommate to come, I can already feel that Novocaine wearing off. I walk back inside to go and calmly ask the secretary if I can get some kind of prescription. I try to be a mature adult about it because I'm the oldest patient in the office, and I just immediately start bawling my eyes out and I'm drooling more blood. She writes me out like a really quick prescription for Tylenol with codeine, which if you've ever taken that before, it's just Tylenol. And yeah, that's my story. Look at me now, 4 teeth less and doing a lot better. No more randomly waking up to a swollen face and drooling blood everywhere. So let me know in the comments down below, have you gotten your wisdom teeth out? Was it awesome? Was it better than my experience? And as always, hit the like button down below if you like this video, hit subscribe to see more stuff from me, and I will see you guys next time.